Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. 50 people killed in a spate of terror attacks in Pakistan's Balochistan region. Baloch Liberation Army claims responsibility for its most widespread assault in years. Peace efforts in West Asia reach another dead end. The UN Secretary-General Guterres urges immediate de-escalation. Israel orders more evacuations. Oil prices extend gains. Russia launches more than 100 missiles and around 100 attack drones at Ukraine during the morning rush hour on Monday. 5 people killed. Energy facilities targeted. Janmashtami, the birthday of the Hindu deity Lord Krishna, is being celebrated with religious fervor in India and across the world. Pakistan witnessed the most widespread assault by ethnic insurgents in years, with over 50 people, including 12 terrorists, killed in 2 separate attacks in less than 24 hours. The police said that 6 bodies are yet to be identified. The first attack took place in the southwestern region, where at least 23 people were killed after terrorists forced themselves out of vehicles and forced these people out of vehicles and then attacked them after checking their identity and their ethnicity. So these buses, vans and trucks were stopped one after the other on a highway connecting Punjab with Balochistan. The Baloch Liberation Army claimed responsibility for those shootings. After that incident, actually around the same time, terrorists also targeted police and security stations in which at least 10 people were killed. The Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi has called this attack barbaric. Well, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party Secretary-General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir on Monday voiced frustration that the head of the interim government of Bangladesh, Professor Muhammad Yunus, his address to the nation lacked a roadmap for the transition to democracy. Speaking at a discussion, he hoped that the interim government will soon engage in talks with political parties to make a decision on the national election as well as state reforms. This is what reports by a private news agency, the United News of Bangladesh, has said. Meanwhile, at least 30 people were injured when clashes broke out between various groups. These people, as we can see, the groups, these clashes broke out between students and protesting paramilitary forces, which were near the Central Secretariat in Dhaka on Sunday. Now, a day after Israel and Hezbollah exchanged heavy fire in a major escalation on Sunday, Iran on Monday said that Israel had lost its power to deter and that the strategic balance in the region had shifted against it. Hezbollah launched hundreds of rockets and drones at Israel early on Sunday, as Israel's military said that it had struck Lebanon with around 100 jets to thwart a larger attack in one of the biggest clashes in more than 10 months of border warfare. The Iranian foreign minister spokesperson, the spokesperson for the foreign ministry, said that despite the comprehensive support of the United States, Israel could not predict the time and the place of a limited and managed response by the resistance. They said that Israel had lost their deterrence capability and power. Now, the spokesperson also said that Israel now has to defend itself within its occupied territories and that strategic balances have undergone fundamental changes to the detriment of Israel. Meanwhile, efforts to bring peace in West Asia have failed yet again, as Hamas rejected a new Israeli peace proposal, or the conditions put forward in the Gaza ceasefire talks. In Cairo, the ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas ended without any agreement on Sunday, casting doubt on the chances of a breakthrough in the latest United States-backed effort to end the 10-month-old war. In central Gaza, Israel has issued more evacuation orders for the city of Deir el-Balah. Now, the Israeli military they have also urged residents in certain zones to move immediately to the west, as the area they are in is considered a dangerous combat zone. Oil prices have extended their gains on Monday on fears that a major spillover in this fighting from Gaza could take place and disrupt the regional oil supplies, while imminent U.S. interest rate cuts too. This has lifted the global economic and fuel demand outlook. The U.S. President Joe Biden has signaled continued support to Israel. He's voiced also that they are going to keep working at regional stability. The White House's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that the United States has remained in contact with the Israelis as a part of its efforts to share how the U.S. sees the situation. And they've said that the United States is still working in Cairo towards reaching a ceasefire deal in Gaza.
Working in Cairo as we speak with our team and the teams of the other mediators, as well as with the Israelis, to get to a ceasefire and hostage deal along the framework that President Biden laid out, to get calm between Israel and along that border between Israel and Lebanon, and ultimately to get to a broader circumstance of regional stability. And of course, we think that a part of that is a credible path to a two-state solution for the Palestinian people as well.
Let's go across to Sarah Coates, who's in Tel Aviv, for more. Sarah, what is the Israeli response to Iran's claim that the balance of power has shifted against Israel in the region?
Hello there, Mark. We had to receive a response from the Israelis to these comments from Iran's foreign ministry, but really what we've been hearing over these past few weeks from Israeli officials is that they are ready for any scenario. Now, throughout the day and also yesterday, it has been confirmed that Israeli troops are heavily drilling in Israel's north, really trying to prepare for what may lay ahead, given that these threats continue to come from Iran for an attack on Israel in retaliation for the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh. He was the head of Hamas's Politburo, with Iran pinning the blame on Israel, despite it actually claiming this assassination, which happened in Tehran earlier this month. Now, I'll bring you up to speed with what's actually been happening on the ground over the past hour. Red alert sirens have once again been ringing out in Israel's north, while we are hearing reports in Lebanese media that there's been a strike, a drone strike on a car in southern Lebanon, which has severely wounded a senior Hamas leader and a number of other people. And this is also being pinned on Israel, although we're yet to receive any comment from Israeli officials on that. So certainly this is a region on high alert amid this anticipated attack from Iran.
Yes, Sarah, and as the war with Hamas is now close to its 11th month, is there a feeling of resignation building up among the common Israeli who wants peace?
People are extremely sick of this situation, Mark. I've travelled really across many parts of the country over these past few months, especially when we're referring to people in these largely evacuated northern communities. They're extremely unhappy with the government. They want the security situation to change, because we do need to remember there are more than 60,000 internally displaced Israelis, and they've been forced from their homes now for more than 10 months. Now, nobody here knows what is around the corner, so people are just living in a constant state of anxiety. Any boom that anyone hears, they're jumping, any loud noises in the sky. And there's also this constant threat of terror attacks on the ground, as we've been seeing many rammings, stabbings, that sort of thing that are actually a frequent occurrence here. So certainly people are living in a real sense of heightened tension, really unsure as to what will be around the corner, really basically begging the Israeli security establishment to do something once and for all to change that reality.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Sarah Coates, for joining us from Tel Aviv with the latest. Now, still to come here on DD India Live. Ladakh is getting 5 new districts. India's Prime Minister says that it's a step towards better governance and prosperity. And India and Singapore take part in a ministerial roundtable. They're taking forward robust, multi-dimensional interaction. Also, Dutch authorities have fined Uber, and this is for serious violation of their rules.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life. Warm up to grandeur that's beyond compare. And history that's dotted with tales of bravery. Smiling soul of India, where music, art, cuisine and culture comes together to create an unforgettable impression. Punjab is all set to win your hearts with its unique and colorful extravaganza.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lynn. Now, India's Home Ministry has decided to create 5 new districts in the Union Territory of Ladakh. The 5 new districts are Zanskar, Dras, Sham, Nubra and Changtang. In a tweet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I quote, "Creation of 5 new districts in Ladakh is a step towards better governance and prosperity. Zanskar, Dras, Sham, Nubra and Changtang will now receive more focused attention, bringing services and opportunities even closer to the people. Congratulations to the people there." The Home Minister Amit Shah has also earlier said that the Modi government is committed to creating abundant opportunities for the people of Ladakh. Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated and Ladakh, in fact, was created as a new union territory on October 31, 2019. The second round of India-Singapore Ministerial Roundtable was held in Singapore on Monday. The Indian ministers were Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, and the IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, who is also the Railway Minister, participated in the roundtable meet. He's also the Information Broadcasting Minister. But the leaders met Singapore's Ministers for Finance, Home Affairs and Law, Digital Development and Information, and also the Minister for Manpower. On both sides, they were deepening their relationship. On the sidelines of the roundtable, the union ministers Nirmala Sitharaman, Dr. Jaishankar, Piyush Goyal and Ashwini Vaishnav met also the President of Singapore, Tharman Shanmugaratnam, and they discussed ways to further take forward the India-Singapore strategic partnership. The ministers held talks on boosting India-Singapore strategic partnership with a focus on key areas of digitalization, green initiatives and skill development. The delegation, led by Finance Minister Sitharaman, called on Singapore's Prime Minister, Lawrence Wong, and conveyed the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's greetings to him. The leaders discussed the need to strengthen a partnership that also is going to broaden cooperation between the two countries. Ukraine's air defenses shot down around 15 missiles and 15 drones targeting the capital Kiev during Russia's overnight attack on Monday. Now, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Russia used more than 100 missiles and about 100 drones. The power and water supplies were disrupted in parts of Kiev. The energy facilities in at least 3 Ukrainian regions were hit in the massive Russian attack. Ukraine's energy operator announced some contingency and emergency power outages. So what's happened is that in response, the Kremlin has said that there would have been a Russian response as well to Ukraine's incursion into the western Kursk region, and that the idea of a ceasefire or even talks of a ceasefire with Kiev is no longer relevant. Putin has said that Ukraine will receive a worthy response and has yet to set out in public what he intends to do about that. Well, Ukraine has backed, in fact, it has urged Belarus to pull back the substantial deployment of its troops and equipment along their shared border. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs warned Belarus against making tragic mistakes while under pressure from Moscow. The statement, I beg your pardon, from the ministry, it urged the Belarus armed forces to stop unfriendly actions and withdraw their troops out of the range of the border. Belarus said on Monday that it sent aircraft, air defense forces and armor to its border with Ukraine. The Kremlin on Monday reacted to the Telegram founder Pavel Durov's arrest outside Paris. The Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that it was right to wait to see what the official accusations against Durov were before commenting further. But Peskov said that Vladimir Putin, the president, did not meet Durov in Baku last week. And Dasha Chernyshova is now joining us from Moscow with more on these stories. Dasha, could you expand on the Kremlin statement that there will be a response to Ukraine's Kursk attack?
Well, indeed, the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has said that such hostile actions as the Ukrainian activities in Russia's Kursk region will demand an appropriate response. So he said that there will certainly be the reply by Russia, but he said that there will be not just one action, not just one step, but several ones. Actually, on Monday, we've seen the Russian Ministry of Defense carrying out a massive group strike against the energy facilities of the Ukrainian military, which Moscow says were supplying the military-industrial complex of Ukraine. And some of the Russian lawmakers here have been saying that this group strike could have been part of Russia's response to the Kursk incursion. So definitely Russia said it is going to respond. In the meantime, we've heard also Kremlin spokesman saying that the possibility of holding ceasefire negotiations or peace talks with Ukraine have those proposals and the possibility have become pretty much irrelevant to the current moment because of this Kursk incursion.
Also, Dasha, what is Moscow's response to the Telegram founder Pavel Durov being detained in France? After all, he was a Russian citizen. Whether he still is one is not sure because, I mean, he travels to different countries. What is the current situation?
Well, indeed, Moscow has demanded the consular access to Pavel Durov and France, and the Russian embassy in France said that there was the sort of avoidance of the engagement on the French side because Pavel Durov does have a French citizenship, which he acquired about 3 years ago, but he has not lived in Russia ever since 2014. There has been a lot of reaction coming from the Russian establishment to the detention of Pavel Durov, saying that that could have been on the request from the United States, and the reason behind the detention is that he did not cooperate with the FBI, how, for instance, the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, has done. He was cooperating with the FBI. So the Russian officials have been insisting that it was indeed a very troubling situation with Pavel Durov. The Kremlin, however, on Monday has said that it wants to understand the clarity of the charges that are brought against Pavel Durov before providing any comments.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Dasha Chernyshova, for the moment. Now, the Dutch data protection watchdog on Monday fined the ride-hailing app Uber for a serious violation of the rules by transferring data about its drivers to servers in the United States. The regulator hit Uber with a $324 million penalty for a breach of the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation. The regulator said that Uber collected European drivers' sensitive information that includes taxi licenses, photos, payment details, location information, identity documents, and in some cases even criminal and medical data of the drivers. Uber has said that it would appeal against this fine. Now let's take a look at some other stories making the news. And for the first time, in fact, for the first phase of elections in Jammu and Kashmir, the Legislative Assembly there, the BJP has released a list of star campaigners. This list includes 40 leaders, which include Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Home Minister Amit Shah, the BJP National President JP Nadda, and others. The Indian state of Maharashtra has become the first state in the country to offer its employees the newly approved central government's Unified Pension Scheme, the UPS. The decision follows the Union Cabinet's approval of the UPS. The Chief Minister of the Indian state of Gujarat, Bhupendra Patel, held a high-level emergency meeting in Gandhinagar to assess the impact of the heavy rains there. Due to heavy rains, many parts of the state have been inundated, displacing hundreds of residents. The Indian Met Department has also issued a red alert for the state for the next 2 to 3 days. Over 20,000 birds have been culled to prevent the spread of bird flu in the Indian state of Odisha. The H5N1 avian influenza virus was detected in several poultry farms in the state. A temporary ban on the sale of poultry products has been imposed in the region. Hindus worldwide are celebrating the birthday of Lord Krishna with great religious fervor. Temples across India are beautifully adorned with flowers and with lights, and the devotees are offering prayers to the deity. On this auspicious day, devotees observe fasts, they sing devotional songs in praise of Lord Krishna. The President of India, Draupadi Murmu, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted the people on the occasion of Janmashtami. A 102-year-old British woman, Manette Bailey, has celebrated her birthday by throwing herself out of a small plane to skydive over Suffolk in England. This happened on Sunday. After completing the 7,000 feet jump, she became Britain's oldest skydiver ever. To mark her 100th birthday, she drove a racing car at 209 kilometers per hour. Quite the lady. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live, but let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. That app is available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin from all of us here in Delhi. Thank you very much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.